Hey guys, welcome back to St. Isidore's Farm. If you're like us and getting into beekeeping, well, for us it was a few years ago, but we're still, in the big scheme of things, relatively new to it, even with several years behind us. One of the challenges is what equipment to get. Some things are pretty straightforward, but in other cases there are so many seemingly good options. One of the big ones I think is really important is the beekeeping suits, especially for someone like me, who have now found out as a beekeeper that I am allergic to honeybees, and in fact have twice been stung and been put into anaphylactic shock. If you've not seen this video, you could go here and understand more about that. Protection is a real concern for me, more so than it might be for other beekeepers. So I thought I would compare two different bee suits, basically in about the same price range, and talk about what I think are the pros and cons of the two suits and which ones we prefer. All right, so this is the Humble Bee ventilated bee suit. We got it off of Amazon. Right now, at the time of making this video, they're running, it was $159.95, $160 on Amazon. Now, I will say this, as I've said in other videos about other things, Amazon prices, don't really understand it. They fluctuate wildly, in my opinion. I know that at the time we bought this suit, it was about $120, and that was not, I think it was a year ago. If you watch their prices on Amazon, this is more of a critique of Amazon, they go up and down. So what you're seeing may not be the cheapest price for this suit. All right, so let's talk about this suit first. We'll start down at the bottom. Suits come with the zippered legs, not very long, so depending on what size boots you have on, you may or may not have to take them off. But as it is, got these Blundstone boots on. I could get them on without taking off my boot. These do come with elastic straps down at the bottom to put over your boot and hold it down. For someone like me, this is really important because without them, these can ride up and a bee could easily sting me through here. So those elastic straps are important to keep the leg down. No matter what I'm doing, it keeps it down below where my boot is. It does have this small section of canvas, so if you have pants on underneath here as well as socks, I think you probably have enough, sufficient layers. But these are designed to wear with shorts. I mean, that's why they're ventilated, so that you actually get air moving through here. So conceivably, you've got this layer of padded protection underneath here and only this thin layer of canvas, which they could sting through if you had thin socks. So if you are allergic to bees, you might want to have rubber boots or something taller above here to protect your ankle or leg from getting stung. So to talk about the body of the suit, like many of these ventilated suits, what this is just a rubber material. It's similar to what you might put in your drawers for padding inside of drawers or something. It's just a foam grid pattern that's sewn in between two layers of this mesh fabric. I will say, if you were out working with your bees, I mean, we're here in North Carolina in the summer, it gets really, really hot. The difference between a non-ventilated suit, even just a cotton suit, and these is incredible. I mean, honestly, when a breeze comes through and you are sweating wearing a suit working the bees, it feels so good to have air come through. The idea here is that it is thick enough up that a bee would not be able to sting if it was on here, to not sting through, or if it did, it would just barely be able to touch your skin and probably would not be able to get the stinger down into your skin. So to some of the specifics in the upper part of this Humble Bee suit, it does have elastic thumb holds here, which are nice, I must say, so that when you put your gloves on, the sleeves stay in place as you pull your gloves up over this, so that is really helpful to have these. It has pockets on the front side, although a little bit I must say they're designed more like pant pockets on jeans. You can see here, this one's even starting to tear away a little bit. I mean, it's just a single seam on all these. It's not double stitched anywhere. And so for me, I have to, as said, keep my EpiPens readily available. This suit does come with sleeve pockets, which I suppose, I mean, you could get a hive tool in there, but it would be really annoying because it's so sharp that it snags. Suppose you could stick pens in here if you wanted to, if you're keeping a journal on beekeeping in your apiary, if you're trying to keep a log about your hives. But as you can see, it sort of falls down naturally around to where your elbow is, and my elbow is hitting the hive tool inside there. So it's not really, it'd be better if it was up here, easier to reach, more so than I'm having to actually reach around behind. So that's not really a great placement. You do have a pocket up here that you could keep things in, a cell phone, same thing down here. If you had to have a cell phone, have access to it, you could put those things. You also have another pocket on the other side. So you have a pocket on both arms, here on the chest and down here. And believe it or not, you do use these things to stick hive tools and stuff in and have things on you. They come with a brass zipper on these suits. They last longer, they are tougher, but I think there are some drawbacks on this particular suit, not so much because of the brass zippers, well, maybe a little bit, but just because the way the suit is designed. All right, specifically to the zippers and the hood. So if I zip this suit up all the way, you have to get, in order to get protection, the zipper goes up past this part. But I will tell you, if you can look at this already, just the weight of the hood, this is choking me. And this is a large suit. My wife's 5'6", 5'7", 5'6.5". She wears this large suit. She also has the same issue. So she has on times referenced or commented that it chokes her as well. So that's one issue. A second issue, which I'll show you is different from the other suit, from the Mann Lake suit, is that you only have this one zipper. You have to undo all of this in order to get to the zipper and bring things back down to get out of it. I'll show you it's a little different on the Mann Lake design. So this comes up, and then when you go to put the hood on, as it hangs back there, you have to pull this over. And I will say it is a little tricky getting this on, especially if you want to have a hat on underneath here. And I'll tell you why in a second that I want to have a hat on. So you can see, not exactly the easiest thing to do. So this hat sits up on underneath here on top of this. Pull down and then grab the two zippers on the side, and hopefully, this is a challenge, I will say, with the brass zippers. They really don't zip smoothly unless you're using both hands and working this around underneath here, which I think you'll see is a little different on the Mann Lake suit. All right, so you get this under here, get these folded over. You have the other zipper, the main zipper goes up above it, and then you have this Velcro flap that comes down. And in theory, bees can't really very easily work their way to get inside your hood. I will say that in the time we've had the suit, have never had a bee ever work its way in here. But little things about this. The top of this hat of hood is canvas. That's important because without a hat on, in my case, a bee can easily sting through this canvas into my head. And the two times that I have been stung and gone into anaphylactic shock, I got stung in the head. I've been stung other places and did not have that reaction. So for me, protecting my head is honestly one of the most important parts of the bee suit. And the fact that this is canvas up here is a concern, and why I wear a hat underneath it to create an additional buffer of protection underneath there, and also to keep this out. But this is the other things that you need to look at is, so if I turn in this suit, you can see that the mesh right here goes up against my ear, against my skin, and that would certainly be a place where a bee could sting me. So you got this whole suit on. And what we know about honeybees is that they have figured out over the years to go for the head of any creature that is going at their hive, whether it's a bear, or a raccoon or anything else is trying to get, or a person, a beekeeper, they go for our face. And if you've worked bees long enough, you know they definitely, of your whole body, when they're irritated, they go for your head. So something like that is a real liability for someone like me in a bee suit, that it's actually can hit my ear in the mesh. I mean, on the upside, you have more airflow coming through on your head, but I'm more concerned about this. Second big issue with this is, if I bend over, this starts to pull right here to the point where it's actually choking me and cutting off blood flow to my head. It really is uncomfortable. This is right now actually choking me. The same is true with my wife, who's not as tall as I am. She's 5 foot, again, 5 foot, a little over 5'6", and she, wearing the same large suit, has that same effect. So it's an issue with the design of the suit more necessarily than it is the sizing. It does have on the back a place where you can hang the suit up like so, which is good because you will get these things wet with sweat probably, and they do need to hang up. But it's a very small hole to put the hook through. A second thing, if you want to detach the hood, you have to zip all the way around and start back at the very, going the wrong way, I think. So you have to move both of these all the way back around in order to take the hood off of this suit. And exactly the easiest thing. If you wanted to take the hood off for some reason, you have to go all the way back. All right, so this is the Mann Lake suit, aerated suit. Down at the bottom, at how much of a zipper you have on the Mann Lake suit, it comes up much higher onto the leg, allowing you to, obviously much easier to put your leg through with boots on instead of a very small zipper as you had on the Humble Bee suit. The Mann Lake suit does not come with these elastic leg straps. So I think that's one thing Mann Lake could easily, very simply and easily improve on this suit. And thankfully my wife, she added these straps on here for me. If we go up the suit, one thing that is nice about the Mann Lake suit is that you can see they put in knee patches to help protect, and you can see on the Humble Bee suit it does not have them. And as you can tell, there are times when you have got to get down on a knee. So to protect the longevity of the suit and this aerated mesh material, as you come up, you've got pockets now on both sides of your suit with Velcro. So something like my EpiPens I can put in. Can't close it, but if you had to put a cell phone or something like that, it's very easy to get in and then close this over, or a notepad or pens. You also have the pocket up here, which is nice, is a zippered pocket. So if you're putting something in here that you need to not lose, you want to keep in there, you can zip it shut. Does not have any pockets on the arms anywhere, but you do have two breast pockets, one with a zipper, one without, so easy enough to put pens or other things under there. Oh, I forgot something. The Mann Lake suit also has back pockets. You got pockets galore, so you got back pockets, front pockets, and chest pockets. Another difference between the Humble Bee suit and the Mann Lake suit, this one has this extra flap that covers over the zipper that this one doesn't. When you get up to this part, plastic zippers on this suit, while they may not be as durable, I do believe they function much more smoothly than on the other suit. These glide pretty effortlessly. This comes up past this point and also has Velcro that closes down over behind this. And then when we go to put on the hood, one thing that is really nice about it, you'll see the difference. I mean, when I struggled with the other hood to get it on, this one is much easier to just pull over. I don't have to, and I will say this, the zipper on the other hood, many a times when I put it on or pulled it over, actually would scrape, the brass zipper would scratch my face or scrape my head. So I think this is much more comfortable to put on. The two zippers coming around the side, I think, well, as soon as I say that, they really are effortless to move. I do not need two hands to sort of pull at to get this to come around. Comes around here, they close up with a fairly small opening right here in the middle. But if you remember, this goes up above here, and you have Velcro on the underside of the hood that Velcros down and closes over that. So you've got Velcro closing over here, you got Velcro under there, the zippers come over, and you can fold these down and then fold this over the top. That's pretty, a bee is not getting through that. I mean, they're not, you can see, I mean, even the opening is very, very tiny, and even then it would be nearly impossible for a bee to get through. Once you have the hood on, a nice thing about this hood versus the Humblebee is that you have this same puffy ventilated, and I will say this too, the padded material between these two actually seems to be thicker on the Mann Lake suit than it is on the Humblebee suit. I mean, if you look at the two right next to each other, you can see that one is a pretty simple small grid with large open squares, and on the other one it has these much bigger padded areas and smaller open areas in between. Is that less ventilation? Yes, but more protection. But that same ventilation comes all the way up into the head. There's no canvas or cotton material up here that I have to worry about a bee stinging me in the head through this. And then in the places, for example, where my ear is behind this padded ventilated material. And the mesh out here that I see through that a bee could easily sting through is much farther forward of my face, and when bees get on it, they don't come near. I will say that with one exception. When you bend down like this, which you are doing when you're looking into hives, you can see that my chin will touch right here on this suit. So if you had a bee crawling around on this front part and was really upset, and you bend your face down and your chin touches this, it could easily sting you through there. So what that means for me is that I'm just much more conscious of, as soon as I feel that touching, that I back my head up, and you can see I can easily move my chin away from it. Unlike in that other suit where when I turned my head, my ear would hit this kind of screen material on the side. It's really, I don't know, it's just it's super comfortable to wear, and I feel a lot more confident working with the bees, especially given my health issues. And the plus here is, the biggest bonus, this suit on the Mann Lake website with free shipping is $125, $124.95. One more point about the way the zipper functions, that you have two zippers that you can go down or you can go up. A couple of things with this, if the delicacy of it. One nice thing is being able to go up on this suit without having to undo the whole hood. Is, let's say you have glasses on or something like this, it's easy enough to get in here, move these. In my case, if I need to push them back up, you can also take a towel or something and just wipe off your face if you're sweating. And if you forget something in your pocket, like say you came out, put your suit on, you left your cell phone in your pocket or a pen or something else, it's really easy enough to be able to do this and to get to your pockets, or say you get out your pocket knife or something, that those things are accessible if you forget to put them on without having to completely undo the hood. Double bonus. And this, much nicer for hanging your suit, really. Easy to hook on to a hook, big piece of 1-inch webbing. The other thing on the back of this suit, very easy to undo this Velcro and detach this hood. So in my opinion, if I was going to buy a suit between these two, this suit from Mann Lake, in my opinion, a far superior design, a better price currently. It is far more comfortable to wear, and I will say I absolutely am not being compensated by Mann Lake or Humble Bee, either of these. I just really feel like for someone, if you're trying to get into beekeeping, you're trying to make a good decision, and money is an issue for you, that you have to be mindful of how you spend your money, that you spend it wisely. If there was a decision between these two suits, I personally, no question, I would go with the Mann Lake suit again and again and again, and in some ways regret that we had spent the money that we did on actually 2 of the Humble Bee suits before we had to get this one for me. I hope this was a help. I know what it's like to look at and see so many options for so many different things. You want to make the right decision the first time. But I will say this, if you have real concerns or anxieties about getting stung, these ventilated suits, more so than just the ventilation, but the thickness, the added protection from getting stung is really important. But 2 is the comfort that you have wearing it. Hopefully you put it on and are not uncomfortable. So that's why I wanted to make this video, share it with you. If you're a person that is hoping to get into beekeeping, it really is my hope that this might be helpful to you. And check out some of our other videos on beekeeping as well. We've got a playlist, I'll put a link to it here, of our adventures with bees over the past couple of years. And until the next video from here at St. Isidore's Farm, take care and God bless. Best looking cameraman out there. Thanks, buddy. I like the mud boots.